All right, Dr. G here, week 3. We are almost halfway through the course. What should you do this week? The first thing that I would encourage you to do, just like last week, go to the week 3 learning materials and look at the video that I made for you. It walks you through the content and how it relates to the previous content, talks a little bit about internships, and then at the end, describes what I want you to do and how your work is placed in the context of your final project. So I won't reiterate all of that, just go take a look. All of your work is now graded and the grades and comments are uploaded. You should all have comments for your work. Mostly I was really pleased with what I saw, and here are a few things that I noticed. So first, with discussion posts in general, make sure that your initial posts were almost all quite good. But for your response posts, make sure that you are reading the directions for the response posts and doing that. So this last week I'd asked for you to write about how we might prepare for and respond to the disasters from the initial posts. This week 3, you're going to be, for your initial posts, writing about what environmental issues, pollution issues, etc. you see around you. The responses, I want you to take a look at how we might deal with those things. Okay, so it's not just some general response, it's specific to that person's post and how we might deal with it. Many of you did a very nice job. If you didn't get your points, that's why, and that's what I'm looking for. So, for the fact sheets, one of the biggest things that I ran into was many of you said that there were not faults in your area. Almost every area there are faults. So in almost every area there are faults underneath us. Faults are simply breaks in the rocks underneath us, either from past tectonic movement or from a heavy weight of sediment. It can be a variety of things. These faults can cause earthquakes anywhere. However, the high prevalence of earthquakes happens along plate tectonic boundaries. So you were correct in saying there are not the large faults with plate tectonic boundaries, or the mini faults that are active from plate tectonic boundaries, but it's not true that there are no faults. Okay, so that's just a minor issue, but I want to make sure that you know that, because we always need to recognize that earthquakes can happen anywhere. There are faults everywhere, but they're just not as many as around the large plate tectonic boundaries. Issue 3 with your field issue paper. After grading several of yours, I had to go back and reread my directions. This is the first time, you're the first group to have gone through this course. And so when you teach a course and you write a course, you always have to look at how the students read the directions and make sure that they are reading what you meant to write. And what I realized is that I hadn't explicitly said with the field issue papers that you had to go out yourself and take pictures of the things around you. And so many of you, most of you did that anyway, but several of you used pictures that you found online as your photo documentation, and you weren't wrong in doing that because I had not explicitly said that you couldn't. So if you saw that your paper was regraded, it was because I realized that my directions were not clear enough. And because of that, for the rest of the semester, we're going to stick with my directions of it doesn't necessarily have to be your picture that you take out in the field, but I would encourage you for practice to go out yourself, take pictures yourself. Many of you had some really nice ones where you may have documented erosion behind a grocery store, or a landslide on a road near you, or something like that. It does not have to be huge. It can be a very local issue. I would love to see those. So if you saw your paper regraded and your grade improve, that was why, because it's only fair of me to grade what you actually have in terms of your directions. And I will stick with that for the rest of the semester. So you're fine if you've done that. All right, if you have any questions or you're not sure about anything, just email me. I'd be happy to answer you. And good luck on week 3. Your initial response or your initial discussion posts are due Wednesday, tomorrow at midnight. So I look forward to reading them all, and have a great week.